Drowning continues to be the leading cause of unintentional death among children ages 1 to 4. This threat remains high as we head into summer months. Today, U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission is unveiling its annual Drowning and Submersion report. Joining us live to talk about the latest findings is Nichelle Fleming with U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission and Nick Askew, Director of Swimming and Diving at Howard University. Good morning to you both. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to start with you, Nichelle. How can parents and caregivers better protect their families from a drowning tragedy?
You know, pools are now open across the country. That's why it's so important to be extra water safety vigilant. And we're seeing an increase in our drowning numbers with nearly 400 children under the age of 15 drowning. And it's still drowning still remains the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4. So it's so important to supervise your children, keep an eye on children in and around the water at all times, but designate a water watcher, a person who's designated to actually be responsible for watching your child anytime they're in and around the water. And you can take shifts and take turns doing that, but it's important that someone is doing that. But also it's important to know that drownings happen during non-swim time as well. So putting multiple layers of protection in place is so important. That includes a 4-sided 4-foot fence at minimum with a self-closing, self-latching gate, door alarms, pool covers, especially if one of the sides of your home allows for access to that pool.
Yeah, those are really great suggestions. You know, I've covered this topic extensively throughout the years from different markets, from Philadelphia to Minneapolis to Jacksonville, Florida, and now to here. And it seems to me there are several reports pointing to racial disparities within water safety, that access, that educational access, but also the ability to learn how to properly swim. I'm interested to know what the commission says about this.
Yeah, our latest data shows where race was known, about 23%, so a disparate number of African-American children drowned, with that number going higher to 45% for children ages 5 to 14 with African-American children especially. So it's so important that we reach these historically excluded communities, knowing that swim lessons are a life-saving skill, and that's why we're grateful to have the coach here with us today.
Yeah, and when we talk about these issues, we also need to talk about solutions, right? For people watching, like, hey, you're talking about the problem. We know this is a problem. Help us out, though. Point us in a direction where we can get access to these resources. Where can folks go?
They can visit poolsafely.gov. There's activities for everyone in the family, from adults to children, activities. Know the rules about using a swimming pool, making sure that they always have an adult present, that they're checking in with mom and dad or whoever that designated water watcher is before entering the pool area.
Nick, you are a swim coach at Howard University, a historically Black university. I'm interested to get your perspective on this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy to be, here being able to explain a couple of things. Number one, that Black people do swim and that we do it well. Our team is a representative of just that. And our team is very passionate about partnering and creating opportunities for water safety and water safety education to make sure that the Black and brown community will see an image of themselves enjoying these water spaces, but also can continue to further them in any pathway that they might, seem that could be to their advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. When we talk about breaking down these barriers, whether it be from an economic standpoint, from an accessible standpoint, where do you think, in your years of experience, where do you think we need to start?
Quite honestly, I think it has to do with legislation. I was very proud to be able to testify before the Maryland State delegate just this past year. And what they're doing is they have a bill that will make it mandatory for all schools to incorporate water safety into their curriculum. I think it starts there because it's a way to have an audience right there in attendance. It's a way of making sure that the government is in step with this initiative because it is a part of our community and the government is responsible for the community. So I think that's the biggest area where we can show improvement. And of course, doing things in the local, or partnering with the local community with water safety activities and festivals, as well as Learn to Swim, are super important as well.
Yeah, and I think too, having athletes from the Black and brown community, particularly swimmers, it really gives people hope and the idea that they too can learn how to swim if they don't already. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity to capitalize on here, and we so much appreciate the both of you coming on this show and having this conversation with us.